that was 500 miles away. Like, they have no idea how they did that. No idea how they moved them. No idea how they got them through the mountains. They cut obelisks that were like thousands of tons. They moved them through the mountains and got them hundreds of miles away. They have no idea how they did that. They were probably very sophisticated, but in a different way than us. They probably had technology that we haven't figured out yet, because we went to combustion engines and electricity, and that's how we figured out how to use the human creativity and constantly innovating when we created technology that went in this way. But it's really possible that another culture 20,000 years ago or whatever had figured out a way to innovate the way we have with combustion engines and electronics, but in a completely different way. I don't know what they would use. I don't know how they did it. But if you imagine human beings going from the Roman Empire 2,000 years ago to what we enjoy today, that's a tiny blip in time when you're talking about 20,000, 30,000 years. If these people figured out some form of technology that we still haven't figured out yet, it's totally possible that that could be the case. And if that's the case, they got hit. They got boom, boom, comets slammed into the earth. A giant percentage of the population died. The people that survived clawed and scraped for generations, and they lived like barbarians, and they forgot everything. And then they rebuilt or moved into the pyramids,
to
claimed
your
it
point,
as their own.
the Sphinx, which is obviously one of the most amazing structures of the ancient world, the Egyptians don't talk about it. Like, it's just there, and they don't know when it was built or why. And it's just odd that you imagine talking about New York and never mentioning the Statue of Liberty in your literature. Like, it doesn't make sense. So that I know they don't have any kind of good explanation for.
Well, I know. I'm glad you brought that up.
And it was buried for a long time.
The Sphinx was not buried for a long time. It was buried up to its neck.
Yeah.
The Sphinx also has an African face, and it's smaller than the shape of the rest of the body. It's like not in proportion, and it's much newer. Like, it doesn't have the erosion. So they think that during the time when the pharaohs ran Egypt, that they might have redone that in the shape of, I forget which pharaoh they're attributed to, but there's some controversy about that. But here's why it's interesting that you brought up the Sphinx, because the temple of the Sphinx is the best evidence that it's older than people think it is. Because the temple of the Sphinx is a guy named Dr.